In the last month, my agency has made $250,000 profit, and today I'm just going to talk about my journey, how I got here, and things of that nature. So I don't know how many of you guys have seen me before or seen any of my other videos, but I've kind of been somewhat documenting the process. If you scroll down like my YouTube, you'll see other YouTube videos and whatnot of just me working, days of my life and stuff like that. And yeah, it's been a journey to say the least. Obviously, we're nowhere near to finished, but we've done some great things within the agency, and yeah, I'm just gonna talk about my story and things like that. I want to start like back when I was younger and really like building an entrepreneurial mindset, you could say. So I guess back when I was around 14 years old, that's right when I started to actually, want to make some sort of money online. Like right, 14, 15 years old, I was seeing stuff about, drop shipping and all this other stuff, and I was like, oh, this looks cool. Like, I want to make money. I want to be able to buy cool things. So why not? You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what I did. So really, the first thing I really got into that kind of made me money online so I used to be a music producer back when I was around 14, 15. And I would just make beats all day, right? And then I would post them on YouTube. If you guys have seen like the type beats on YouTube, you might have seen mine before. I got a decent amount of views. But under all those videos, I would just put a link to buy the beat. And I actually got some sales. Like, it wasn't nothing crazy. Like, I probably made $500, something like that. But it was crazy to me at the time because I remember it would always go to my PayPal. Like, it was through a site called BeatStars, and it would always get paid out to PayPal. And my PayPal actually ended up getting banned because I was too young. So, RIP to that. But yeah, after that, I played basketball all growing up, all throughout high school. And so that kind of took up a lot of my time. And I didn't have as much time to put towards, trying to make money online, but I still would sneak things in here and there. I ended up, for the next 2 or 3 years, I ended up trying drop shipping. I tried to make a clothing brand. I was reselling sneakers. I tried to just become a content creator and be like a self-help kind of creator, like on TikTok and YouTube. I tried like everything in the book, like anything you guys have tried, I most likely have tried before. And I always thought I was gonna go to like the NBA type thing. Like, I genuinely thought I was gonna at least play like D1. And that was my goal throughout like all of high school. So that's why, the business stuff was kind of on the back burner. But fast forward to my senior year, which was about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I really started to get the feeling like I don't really want to play in college. Like, I don't want to play basketball in college. I want to have some sort of business. I don't even want to go to college in the first place, right? So I knew I had to have some way out, and I had been looking into online business for some time up to then, literally like for years. And so I just decided, you know what? Let me find something. Let me go all in on it and hope it works out, right? Because I really did not want to go to college. And yeah, so starting at the January of 2024, it was my middle of my senior year. That's when I really started to lock in. And I think what really helped me was when I kind of told myself I was gonna lock in on something, I really started to fix my mindset first. Like, I was meditating every day, I was journaling every day, I was eating right, eating healthy in the gym, and I was really getting like my mind right, you know what I'm saying? And then I actually wanted to be a content creator. Like, this is where I was talking about the self-help YouTuber type thing. That's what I was trying to do. I don't know if I still have any YouTube videos up on this channel of that, but I used to try to do that. And I was doing that for like a month or two, and then fast forward to March, April of 2024, that's when I stumbled upon this, back when it was called growth operating and things like that with the low ticket school community. I started seeing videos about it, and then I remember it was, I don't know why I remember dates so well, but it was April 8th, 2024. I got back from spring break in Florida. And then when I got back, it was that day I saw a video about the growth operating stuff. I was seeing like Eddie Cumberbatch videos and stuff. And then I ended up buying his course for $100. $100 a month, actually, which at the time was like a lot to me. But yeah, I ended up joining that, and I just never looked back, right? I feel like I had found something that kind of resonated with me in a way, and the skills I already had, because like I was copywriting before, I was always like writing stuff, journaling, so like I had a pretty good sense of how to do like copywriting, because obviously copywriting is a part of something we do. And then also just the whole business model to me was like, oh, I can partner up with a dude with a bunch of followers and throw something up on his story and make a bunch of money. I was like, well shit, count me in, you know what I'm saying? So I just ended up grinding from there and going at it every day. And it was funny, I actually ended up signing my first client 6 days after joining his course. Now, it might sound crazy, but it was not a good client at all. Like, I wouldn't even tell any sort of beginner to work with it. Very, very little traffic or engagement at all. I probably had 1 or 2K on YouTube and then like 1,000 followers on Instagram. Like, audience was just like non-existent. And we ended up dropping a low ticket school community and did like a couple hundred MRR, and then I got paid like $150, and that was literally it. And yeah, I probably should have cherished that client a little bit more, because for the next freaking like 6-7 months, I was left with nothing, right? So moving on from there is when I really started to like, just get a feel for the business model, just keep trying stuff and trying stuff and trying stuff. Obviously, hundreds and hundreds, thousands actually, of outreaches, cold emails, DMs, everything. And then going into summer of that year, so summer of last year, 2024, I was still searching for clients, still throwing out thousands of emails and cold DMs, hoping something would work. And I never really got responses. Like, that's one thing that was really demotivating. I never really got people responding to me. I was just kind of throwing shots in the dark and nothing was hitting. And throughout that summer is when I was really building my skill set. Like, one thing I would do is I would take like a random creator, or sometimes not even a creator, and I would like fake launch. Like, I would pretend that they were my client and I would build everything. I would do all the funnels, do all the landing pages, do all the marketing strategies, do all the automations. Obviously I can't build a sales team with a fake offer, but that's what I did. And then I would pretend to launch it, and then I would use that and send it to the creator. It never really worked out in terms of getting the creator, but I think it really built my skills and just got a feel for how everything works, right? Because it's one thing to watch videos and shit, but it's another thing to actually be in it doing it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, and then after that, I actually ended up getting a couple opportunities here and there for clients, but sadly, one of them ghosted me, and then the other one I signed. The next day, they called it quits. So that was kind of RIP to that throughout that summer. And I actually ended up getting a fitness guy who we never even launched for, because his traffic was just like non-existent. And then I don't even think he wanted to do it in the first place, so we just like never did anything. And that was probably about 4 or 5 months into doing this. It was tough, man. It was like, you're doing all this work and nothing's coming back, you know what I'm saying? But I kept going at it. The reason why I grinded so hard that summer was because I knew I didn't want to go to college, and if I didn't make any sort of money, then I was going to have to go to college. And sadly, I didn't make any money, so I had to go to college. So moved in August of 2024 to my college dorm room, University of Louisville. It was honestly like a really good thing though. Like, it was low-key a blessing in disguise, because I got to live pretty much by myself. I had a roommate, of course, but it was pretty much by myself most of the time, and I was just living on my own. And I think that gave me a lot of time to actually lock in on becoming better at this stuff and getting the clients I needed, and finally making something work so I could get the hell out of that freaking dorm room, bro. Yeah, I was in there. I went to the first 2 weeks of classes, and then I was like, nah, I can't do this. And then I ended up never going back to a class after the second week. I didn't drop out yet though. I stayed in my dorm room for the rest of the semester, literally just grinding, but going to 0 classes, doing 0 work. I ended up dropping out later that semester, but we'll get into that. Yeah, I was just grinding in my dorm room. Wanted to quit a lot of times. Like, I wanted to quit probably 3 or 4 times, and I actually one of the times I came very close to actually quitting. And then I ended up watching a couple videos on YouTube. One of them was actually one of Ben's videos, just kind of talking about how, long story short, you just got to stay consistent and something will end up working out. Then I just kept getting this image in my head. If you guys have ever seen, it's like a picture of the guy in the mine. He's mining towards the diamonds, and the guy on the bottom is like walking away, and the guy at the top is almost there, and he's like about to get the diamonds, but they were both the same length away. Like, the guy on the bottom walked away right before he was about to get the diamonds. And for some reason, that shit just kept popping up in my head. And then I also reread a book in my dorm room, and it ended up saying like multiple times in that book, it was just, don't stop 3 feet short of gold, right? And I don't know how, it was like God sent like the second I was about to quit this stuff, like I read that line and then I wrote it on my whiteboard in my dorm room. And then from then on, every day I would just look at that and be like, nah, bro, I can't quit. Like at this point, I've been doing it for 6 months, and it's like, man, I've been doing this way too long to just give up now. Like, I'm so deep in, might as well just continue going. You know, I wanted to switch to like trading or drop shipping or something, but then I was like, well, it's gonna take another 6 months to even get good at that too. So might as well stick with this and hope something works out, right? And that's exactly what I did. And I think it was like a month later, I ended up signing a client. No, it wasn't a month. It was like a couple weeks later. I ended up signing a fitness client that was finally like something I could work with. It wasn't a great client, like obviously, but it was something that I could work with and actually get some playing time. This guy he had a lot of followers. Like his engagement was actually really good. It was just the ICP was pretty bad. The audience was like 14-year-olds, so it was hard to launch a high ticket. But we ended up launching a high ticket. You know, I wasn't very good at what I did. I had built skills and just like how to use, you know, Zapier, GHL and stuff from all the fake launches I did. And so we ended up launching a high ticket. It was like the dirtiest launch ever. It was just like a 3-day story sequence. And then we ended up doing just a DM funnel to book call. I was DM setting. My homie was taking closing calls. And I think it was like a week into it, we got our first sale of 2K. I'm not gonna lie, I was in Kroger buying my girl flowers when that sale came through. I saw a notification on my phone of like $2,000. Bro, I wanted to jump out of that shit, bro. I was so happy, bro. It was just super exciting. I made like, I don't know, I had a 20% with that, and that was like, I don't know, $400 or something like that. And to me, that was just like insane. I was like, whoa, I just made $400, bro. Like, what? That just kind of, you know, activated something. And I'm not gonna lie, that first sale, that first like high ticket sale felt like 10 times better than anything else I have done to this day. I don't know why, but it's just like I had been working at it for so long, like 6-7 months, and I finally got a freaking sale in the business. It felt really good. And then we just continued that momentum on from there. That offer ended up not really doing much after that. Like, I think I made $600 or $700 in total from that client, which was, it wasn't terrible. Like, I mean, it was something, and it was something that keep me going forward. And I mean, I guess I could say I had some sort of results at that point. But yeah, then after that, I actually started to put myself in a better position in terms of like knowing people, and not even doing it like purposely, just being myself, being a genuine human, you know, showing people that I know what I'm doing and showing people that I put in work. And it was actually ended up working out in my favor, because about a month later or so, month and a half later, I ended up getting another client that would have made me my first $1,000 after 7 freaking months of doing this stuff. Like, that's why I say it took me 7 months to make a freaking $1,000 doing this business model. A rack took 7 months. But yeah, how I got that client is a funny story. So I had a friend, shout out to my guy Jackson, and he had another friend who had this client that he didn't want anymore, simply just because his engagement was really low and like it wasn't really gonna make much money. So he was like, I'm gonna ask around, I'm gonna just see if anybody else wants this guy. And my boy Jackson actually asked me and then another one of our friends. And when he called me, I was taking a poop on the freaking toilet, and he FaceTimed me. And I don't know why, but I answered it. And then he told me about the opportunity, and I said yes first, which is like kind of crazy to think about. Like, if I just continued on with my poop and didn't answer that call, like I really just think about like, well, I wonder where I would be right now, because that like kind of started a domino effect and started pushing things forward a lot. So I answered that call. He told me about the opportunity. I didn't hesitate to say yes. And then from there, it was just kind of game over. That sounds corny as hell, but yeah, I got that client, very blessed. I ended up launching his offer November 2nd. And the same day I came down here to Miami with like, half of my bank account was the plane ticket. But I ended up coming down here with some of my boys, and I launched that offer on that November 2nd when I was down here, the week I was here. And we didn't do anything crazy. Like, the creator had really small traffic. Like, we didn't do anything crazy with it, but it made me like $1,000 or $2,000 profit. Like, the offer did like 10K in a matter of like 2 weeks. It was like a little over 10K in 2 weeks. And I made some money, right? I made a couple grand, which was like, it was a lot to me. Like, I was like, oh shit, okay. Like, I just saw this money come into my bank account. I'm like, okay, this is real. Like, I can see this money. And then from there, that same week, I actually met my business partner, Andrew. Shout out to Andrew. That's when I met him because my boys were working with one of his boys. And then we were just in the same rooms and stuff. So we just ended up meeting. And a little bit after that, I ended up getting another client. It was a trading client this time. And it was like finally something I could work with. And this was like, I signed this guy end of November and we launched for him December 9th. And it was finally something that I could actually like do some work with, like finally a guy that could actually make some money. So we ended up launching him December 9th, and it was my first like successful launch, if you want to say. Like, we made 42K cash collected in 2 weeks and 70K revenue. And like, that gave me like, there were some like percentages involved with other people that were involved. So I ended up making like $7,000 off that, which was like, it was really good to me. I was like, wow, like I almost made 10K this month. Like, that's what everybody wants to do. Yeah, and then from there, it was just like finally something that I could be like, oh, I did that. Like, I really started to leverage that within like outreach and stuff like that, and just like posting YouTube videos about it. Like, if you scroll down on my channel, you can probably see some YouTube videos about it, and just trying to leverage that as much as I could. And then after that, I ended up getting another small trading client, and this was when I started working with Andrew, my now business partner. We just partnered up on like a small guy. I mean, that offer probably did 20K, which put like another, I don't know, a couple grand in my pocket. And then that month in January was my first, like, it was my first 10K month. Like, I actually crossed the 10K, and that's because the client I just talked about, the first trading client that I did 42K with, we ended up relaunching at the end of January. And that drop we did, it was 75K cash and then like 116 revenue, which was like my first big drop. Like, I was like, oh, like I actually just did something. Like, I made some good money, made like 10, 15 grand. And I was like, oh wow, like, okay, let me just keep going, keep building from here. And this is where the momentum really started to get going, like really fast. Because after that, obviously that kind of gave me some credit. Like, that gave me some like, oh, this guy kind of knows what he's doing type thing. And I feel like at this point I had really started to build my skill set and like become competent enough to do big offers. And then from there, me and my partner Andrew got another guy through one of our boys who knew him. Shout out to Johnny. But we ended up getting this guy, this other trader, who was nothing crazy. I mean, he had like 50K on IG, good amount of subscribers on YouTube, but engagement was kind of low because it was kind of an old profile, but it was still a really good opportunity to like just continue to show what I can do. The first drop we did like 50, 60K cash, I'm pretty sure, which is pretty solid. Again, it put some more money in my pocket. And then from there, continued to grind, continued to really hone in on my skill set and like just learn as much as I possibly could. And then fast forward to the end of March going into April, this is where things really started to take off. Not only in terms of like the client aspect sort of thing, but in like my pockets, but my skill set in general. Like, I feel like I started to get like pretty like very solid at this stuff, and I was really putting the pieces together, and I just started to get pretty good. And then we ended up relaunching for 2 of the trading clients. It was the one we did 75K with at the end of January, and then the one we did like 50, 60K with in February. We relaunched both of them. The first guy we relaunched, it was the trader I had for months before that. It was a trader I got in December. This was the 3rd drop for him, and I actually came out to Miami for the first couple of days of the drop. And we ended up doing over 100K cash with him, 180K revenue. And that ended up being a really good drop, especially with the audience we were working with. And I think I really like started to build on my launch strategies and build on my skills in general. And obviously that put some decent money in my pocket, about 15K. And then we also relaunched for the other trader, and he ended up doing like 70K cash, somewhere around there. And again, of course, more money, but these offers got the attention of the big fish, right? This guy that we made 70K with, he was really close with a really big guy. Really big trader, has been in the scene for years and years. The type of client, the type of creator, the type of offer that can actually make a lot of money. He noticed it. He was like, okay, this guy's always struggled to sell his offer, and these guys came in and just made almost 100K with him, like, okay, that's good. Like, that's definitely good. We ended up getting connected to him also through another one of our boys who knew him. Again, shout out to Johnny. And yeah, we ended up getting on a call with him. We ended up closing the deal a couple days after that. And then this is like the point where we knew, like, okay, this offer could really take things to another level, like not only for myself, but for the agency. Obviously it's gonna make me a lot of money, but it's really gonna like solidify my name in a sense, and just really push things forward a lot. And so we really locked in. Like we signed this guy early April. It was like early April when we signed him. And then we were expecting to launch like at the end of April or early May, but we ended up launching May 19th just due to some extra things. So we had to push it back a little bit more, which I think was really a blessing in disguise, because this gave us a lot of time to really build everything out in terms of like on my side of things with all the infrastructure, all the systems, the marketing and launch strategies and things like that. And then also gave us a lot of time to build a really good sales team, because like that's one thing in this game. If you don't have like a super strong sales team, a super strong culture, and just really solid guys in your team, like you're not gonna make as much money as you should. Like you might make some money, but you're gonna be leaving literally like probably hundreds of thousands on the table. So we really focused on that. Gotta give a big shout out to my guy Abdullah too. He put in a lot of work with the sales guys, really got them together, built a really strong culture. And this is where like like everybody on the offer started to notice like, okay, the numbers make sense. The team is super strong. Like there is no shot we don't make a lot of money. Like we all just had that belief in our heads so strongly because we were all coming together, just really getting everything down in terms of the sales side, and then also on my side of things. I had a lot of time to focus on that, right? And so in terms of the launch, we ended up teasing the program for about 5 days, just through simple story posts. Jay Dunn will talk about it on like his live trading, his stories and whatnot, and just a little bit in his Discord and his YouTube videos. We did that for about 5 days, just teasing at it. And then 2 weeks out, so this was May 5th, we ended up dropping a wait list, simple type form sign up. They get sent to a thank you page. They get an automatic email and stuff like that, text. And then we had a 2-week period from the day we dropped the wait list up until the day we launched. And that 2-week period is like where you can really make things different. And like, it's like a game-changing 2-week period that you really have to focus on. From the point we launched the wait list to the launch of the actual program, I really focused on the nurturing process between that. And some things I did in terms of that was I sent out a lot of emails. Like I had every single email I was gonna send planned out. I had every single story post we were gonna do planned out. Everything was prepared, which is one thing that you have to have. Like you have to have a lot of preparation, or it's gonna be very messy and you're not gonna do as good as you should. Like efficiency is a big thing in this, and you have to make sure you're very efficient with your time. And so from there, we ended up doing, obviously, the email campaigns. We sent out an email every couple days. And the thing that worked so well was simply just the audience of this. Like the ICP was older, like 30 to 55-year-olds, like even older than that. And so those guys loved the emails. Like the open rate was really high. There was a really big email list, and things were going very well. And then one thing we leveraged very strongly in this was obviously building a ton of hype, but also like the scarcity aspect of it and results, of course, and then just the track record of the creator in general was very strong. So we leveraged that a lot in the emails, a lot in the story posts as well. I mean, the guys in their Discord and stuff like that were already so warmed up to them. Like the engagement was very strong. And then we also actually ended up doing a free class. It was sort of like a webinar to people on the wait list. It was like only waitlist members could join, sort of thing. And that was like a very strong nurturing tool, because they join the wait list, they hop on that free class and just get a ton of value, right? And then we just hype up the program even more in that and do like zero selling in it. So it really makes like the genuineness of the program stand out. And we did that about a week into the waitlist. And then something else we did, which was like a very strong thing we did. So we already had a ton of phone numbers from the past like info products the creator had. And so we had about 10,000 phone numbers, and we took our sales guys, right? We had those phone numbers, and this was during the wait list, like a week before the launch. We had all of our sales guys, which at the time was like 8 setters, I think. We had all of them calling the people on that list, like the 10,000 people. and we were just going through all of them, just re-engaging them, right? So we had a huge list of leads, huge list of phone numbers, and we were just calling all of them. And then we were re-engaging them into the offer. We were letting them know what's going on. We were letting them know that we had a free class coming up. We leveraged that too. And then just about the program in general. And it worked very well. Like, we re-engaged a good amount of people. Our setters were freaking going crazy. And it was just a really good, like almost like test run. Not only in terms of like the setter's skill set, and so we can see where they're at, but also just like so we could refine like our process and our scripting, not really scripting, but like framework and stuff like that on the sales side. And so that ended up working out very well. We continued with all the nurturing tools, continue to train every single day. I mean, our setters would hop on 2 training calls literally every single day. Closers were locking in, getting the pitch down, and everything was going well. Like, everything was being built out. Sales team was locked in, and we ended up launching on May 19th, which was actually my birthday, funny enough. And it was a good launch. Like, it was everything we expected. We did very well. The first day, we actually ended up launching a little bit later than we wanted to. We were supposed to launch at like 11 a.m., but we ended up launching at like 3 just because there were some things that needed to be fixed. We had about 3,500 people on the wait list. And obviously, we launched through email, story post, Discord, broadcast channel, and just every tool we had. And this is actually another thing. So with all the people on the wait list, we funneled all of them into a broadcast channel because my client already had a pretty big broadcast channel. So we just put everybody there. And through that, it was almost like a direct conversation my client could have with the people on the wait list, and we could really hype everything up in this, just make it very clean. Which worked very well. And then yeah, from there we launched May 19th, probably one of the best birthdays of my life. We only had half a day, like we didn't even have a full day when we launched. We only had half a day, and we ended up doing about 90K cash. It was that Monday and half a day. And then the next day we did like 120, 130K cash. Next day, same thing. Next day, it was either a little above or a little below 100 cash. And we just continued that momentum throughout the week. The first week, I think we made a little bit over $500,000. No, it was like 550 or like upwards of 600K cash, I'm pretty sure. And then we just continued to see our choke points, see where we were going wrong, and just fix everything. Obviously, our freaking setters were going crazy. Like, they were working freaking 12 hours a day. You can't even get in that many dials off of launch because everybody's picking up and booking a ton of calls, bro. Like, the first day, the first hour of the drop, I think we booked 100 calls. Which is like kind of crazy to see to me. Like, I had never seen that much traffic before. Like, I had seen pretty like a big volume of calls come through and a big volume of money come through, but like nothing like that. Like, that was like, it was a lot of calls, bro. And yeah, we had like, I think it was 8 or 9 closers. A couple of the closers were just there to like take any extra calls if we needed it. That's one thing we did very well. We over prepared. We make sure like, okay, we have more than enough sales guys so we don't have to scramble after we launch and figure it out, right? So we had like 9 setters and about 8 or 9 closers. Setters were going crazy. Everybody was going crazy. Closers were locked in. Close rate was pretty freaking high, and it felt really good, bro. Like, the ticket prices, the one-on-ones were 15K. And then there was a 7K program and a 3K program. And it was like, just seeing 15K payments notifications come through your phone is a really good feeling, especially on your freaking birthday. Very thankful for that, for sure. And yeah, we continued on with the launch and then just continued to see where we're going wrong. One thing we did very well was we were very strategic with our moves after that. Like, okay, where are we gonna put our attention towards? How are we gonna continue to make even more money? Obviously dialing all the wait lists, like even to this day, we're still like just draining out that list of like 3,500 people, just like squeezing every ounce that we can get out. And then obviously we continued with some marketing here and there on the stories. I continued sending out emails like every 2 or 3 days. These ones were more so of value based, but then I also implemented some scarcity and, you know, just FOMO of the program itself. And then the one-on-one spots ended up closing. We were wanting to do 30 spots of the one-on-ones for 15K, but we ended up closing it at like 18 or something like that. That was just the preference of my client. He didn't want to take on too many one-on-one people because he wanted to get really good results. And then yeah, after that, we were just seeing every angle, you know, staying 3 steps ahead of people and just looking at all the pockets we could go into to get that extra revenue. And we ended up doing that, worked very well. And fast forward to today, $1 million in a month, cash collected. It was great to say, something I have worked very hard at. But one thing I will say, like, in the most humblest way possible, like, I knew this was gonna happen. Like, when I saw the money coming in for this offer and I was like, holy shit, like, this is a lot of money. Like, it wasn't surprising. Like, we all knew it was gonna happen. We all worked so hard that we knew the only outcome that we could possibly get was like the best outcome. And like, that's just the mindset we went into it with. And then just my journey in general, like, I've worked so hard at this, like, every single day for over a year. If you work that hard at something for over a year or 2 years, however long it is, like, there's no chance that you don't get some type of success with it. Like, just, and if you don't, you might be just doing something wrong. But I'm very grateful, thank God, every day for where I'm at. It's kind of crazy to say that my agency made $250,000 in the past month. Like, that's kind of just wild. But yeah, I mean, now it's just really time to capitalize, double down on all our systems. We're really focused on investing in the right team members, investing in the right systems, and just especially getting our like sales guys even better. Like, we're still continuing to train, hop on calls every single day. Obviously the offer is still going. It's an ongoing offer. We're about to start running webinars. We actually have one coming up this week. And yeah, everything has just been really solid. Learned a lot throughout the process, learned a lot through the launch. And that's one thing you guys will start to notice. Like, every time you launch something, every time you're working on an offer, your knowledge is going to go so crazy. That's why, like, you shouldn't even worry about the money that you make, because the money that you make is going to come later, because you are building the knowledge right now. The learning experiences is literally priceless. Like, I learned so much throughout this stuff, and like, skills that I could literally take into any other business too. Like, any other sort of marketing or sales business, like, I could take the skills that I built into that confidently. And yeah, from here, it's just continuing to capitalize on what we did. Obviously, having that in our back pocket as a case study for the agency is really huge. And just continuing to get bigger and bigger clients, better and better results. Like I said, investing into team members, investing into better systems. I'm really focused on locking in our systems on my end, and creating very strong SOPs to go along with that. I think that's a very important thing in business. And then yeah, I'm really gonna start making a lot more content too. Like, I feel like now I finally have, like, obviously I have the results to show for it. I had the skill set before, but now I have the results to show for it. So I really want to show you guys, like, just a lot of, you know, just tips and how to do things like this. Not trying to say I'm like the best to ever do it, but I think I've built a pretty solid skill set, humblest way possible. Like, and I just want to show you guys everything that worked for me, because I know how it is to freaking grind in the trenches, getting absolutely nothing. And I just want to give you guys as much value as possible. That's one thing I think this space lacks, is like, there's no real like knowledge out there, like the real stuff that you need to know. I feel like it's not really out there for real, unless you like dig super deep for it. Like, you kind of have to know the right people to be able to get the right knowledge. And it's kind of just scattered all over the place. You guys just need to be on the lookout, man. Just keep checking my videos, keep, you know, checking my Instagram, whatever it is. I'm gonna be dropping a lot of game for you guys, probably for free. Don't quote me on it though, because this stuff is very valuable. And yeah, one thing I think that's very important in this game, it was for me, and I think it will be for any of you guys watching this, is simply just the people you know. They wasn't lying when they said your network is your net worth. So I'm gonna have my Telegram links below. It's just gonna be a place where we can all come together. I'm gonna just drop some game for you guys, drop some voice notes, drop some SOPs, whatever it is. That's one thing in that Telegram. I'm gonna be dropping a lot of just like exclusive SOPs to only people in there. So I'm gonna drop the link in this description. You guys can join up, we can meet each other. I think it's very valuable to meet really cool people and really genuine, good human beings who are trying to go all in on this stuff and make something of themselves. That's one thing I always liked. And yeah, so that's gonna be below. I hope you guys enjoyed me talking about myself. I hope I didn't leave anything out, but yeah, this was pretty raw, straight off the dome. Hope you guys enjoyed my story. And yeah, that's pretty much it from me. Really big things on the way. I'm really gonna, you know, leave an imprint on this space with my name and our agency. I'm very excited for the future. Gonna be dropping a lot of game, doing great things. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it from me. And I'll just see you guys in the next one.